Welcome to Lesson 12. Finally, we have moved away from fractions and we're looking at something a little bit more fun, something that you might have had more experience with in the past. So let's take a look at Lesson 12.1. This is primarily focusing on the vocabulary that you will need to know throughout the chapter. So let's first look at some of it. As you saw today, we're looking at three-dimensional objects, and we have three different vocabulary words just looking at this picture. The corner up here, those are called a vertex. You'll have another vertex down here, 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 there, here, and even on the back over there, there would be another vertex. Anytime that there's two lines that come together at a point, that point is called a vertex. Edge. An edge is pretty much just one of these lines. So here's another edge, there's an edge, here's an edge, this way, that way, that way. And what you need to remember is that there is a back of this that we can't see from this angle. But imagine if we had that back on there. Here's another line, here's another edge, here's an edge, and there's an edge in green. There's three additional edges. We can't forget to include those when talking about edges. And then faces are going to be this, the sides. So here's a face in the front, there's a face in the top, on the bottom, on this side, on the back side, and over here as well. Moving on, we have two different types of lines. Now remember, both of these will include two lines. So we have the first one being parallel, and if you notice on the picture, we have two vertical lines. If you continue those lines forever, they will never intersect. They'll never cross each other. The second one is perpendicular. If you notice from the picture that these two lines, one goes up and down, and the other goes left to right. Those will cross at one point. That point is called a vertex. Moving on to some of the shapes. The first shape we're going to look at is a prism. You notice we have rectangular prisms, we'll have cubes are a type of prism, and a prism is just a solid with two parallel bases. That's the simple definition of it. You have your bases being the top and the bottom. Those are going to be bases, and those will be parallel to each other. That base goes horizontal just like this, and the top goes horizontal just like this. Those will never intersect. If you were to take these lines and continue them forever in that direction, and this same thing over here, they're never going to intersect. So again, a prism is a solid with two parallel bases. A cylinder. Cylinder looks like that. You have a base on the top and a base on the bottom. It's a solid with two circular bases that are parallel. So again, this circular base goes horizontal like this. It will never touch this base over here. Cone is a solid with one circular base with lines that are connected to one point outside the base, up here. Cone is similar to a pyramid, but notice how a cone has a rounded edge up here, or because of the rounded base, where a pyramid has a flat base, so therefore all of the sides are also going to be flat. A pyramid is a solid with base whose other faces are all triangles that share a common vertex. So again, a vertex meaning a point where two lines intersect or come together. So here would be the vertex that all the lines share. Let's look at the guided practice. Now there are four main questions that I want you to look at. We have this figure over here. And first, how many vertices does it have? Or how many vertexes is how you would think it would say. Number two is how many faces does it have? Number three is how many edges. And four is what figure are we looking at? I want you to pause the video right now and answer those questions and share this with your parents as well. How many vertices do you see? How many faces? How many edges? What type of a figure it is? If you need to go back, you can look and see what each one of those might look like, or what of the different figures that it could possibly be. All right, now that you've answered those questions, let's go over what the answers are. Number of vertices. Well, let's count them. Those are where all the lines come together, the points. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the answer for that one, number 1, is 4. How many faces? Again, let's count them. We have this side, the bottom, which is the base, and the back that we can't see from this angle. So again, we counted 4. So let's go down, and 4 is the right answer. Let's look at edges. Edges are kind of like those lines that we drew. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I drew this one dotted because we can't really see it from the angle we're looking at, but that's still considered an edge. So that would be 6. Again, our answer for number 3 is 6. And what figure are we looking at? I know it doesn't really look like a great picture of it, but that would be just like this. The only difference is in the bottom, the base, is a triangle here, and over here, the base is a square. But either one could count. All it is a solid with one base. It doesn't say what shape it is. So the answer for number 4 is pyramid. I hope you understand the different vocabulary terms. If you are still unsure, please watch the video again or look at your book at page 308 and 309. Thanks a lot for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.